What's the juiciest rumor at your school that turned out to be 100% true? New kid comes to high school. Has a funny accent because his parents were missionaries, traveling all over the world. He was actually kind of cool. Spoke at least 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Russian and Mandarin. He was super polite and everyone liked him. Of course he had haters, mainly the so-called bullies, a concept he never understood. Rumor began that he was well versed in many forms of martial arts. He never denied or admitted to them. One of the bullies decided to find out. He was much bigger than the new kid. New kid did everything in his power to not escalate the fight. Even took a punch from said bully. Well, guess the rumor was true. Not only did the new kid beat his ass, the bully himself. Most awesome thing I ever saw in high school. Edit. Unfortunately, I was never really close to him. But I had heard from another friend of mine that he ended up moving after high school. Nobody seems to know anything else. I barely remember his first name. It was not an easy one, let alone his last name. So he will live on in memory as that one foreign kid that nobody messed with. Not only did the kid beat his ass, the bully himself. Thank you. This has made it onto my list of favorite things to look at when I'm old. Resource officer was a child molester and then murdered his wife after he was fired. He fled and they still haven't found him over 10 years later. He's on Marshall's top 15 most wanted list. His name was Dan Hires and his mother thinks he's dead. The computer tech teacher got caught having sex with a student. He was put on suspension while the investigation was conducted. He killed himself by running his car into a tree. The science teacher was a pedophile. Some kid found Viagra in his desk and he was put in admin leave when they found a used condom in his trash after the search. Then kids came forward. Was not pretty. 2 teachers that were married to each other were sleeping with students. The husband was the first to do it and the wife found out and slept with some of her students as revenge. Also, the resource officer was sleeping with some of the 18-year-old seniors. All got confirmed when they were fired for it. Well, the teachers got fired. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. I think he's ridden enough. This one girl would make those colorful friendship bracelets made out of needlepoint floss for every guy she gave a BJ to. There were lots of bracelets. Edit. I short hope Emily doesn't have Reddit. Edit 2. Just because Emily gave Mad BJS doesn't mean I will get ya bracelets elsewhere. Like some kind of club or something. Right? It was pretty funny. The guys didn't start figuring it out until there was quite a large number of handmade bracelets on dudes who wouldn't normally be wearing anything of the sort. Who made you that? Emily. Did you have one? No, I'm a girl. Edit. Straight girl. The art teacher was sleeping with both the history teacher and reteacher. She was married to the chemistry teacher who she'd previously had an affair with while married to the woodwork teacher. I believe she married the reteacher sometime after I left school. Edit. A few people have asked what RE is. Religious education, which state schools in the UK used to have to teach. Taught by an atheist, which was refreshing. This is better than a Mexican soap opera. Esta noche en la escuela dramatica. Teresa, Henrietta, Victoria, Lewis, Y Miguel aprenden Claudel millisecundara. Rumor had it that a teacher was having sex with some of his students that wanted higher grades. No one believed it to be true because he was married and just had his 3rd baby. 100% true, and all the students were proud of it. He's still in jail 5 years later. Students were proud of it? It's a teacher for my B. Wait up. I'm a A-level ps here, bro. An abortion using a coat hanger where a student bled to death. It happened years before I attended the school and was the basis of the ghost sightings near the bathroom. Man, this is disturbing as hell. That there is an underground bunker from the Cold War era below the school. Not only is it there, but it turns out you can access it from the pet changing room through a secret trapdoor. Edit. It's in Krakow, Poland. Because so many of you were curious. And it looks like there's actually lots of schools that have one. Edit 2. Also, it is confirmed to be a bunker, but it was built before the school existed and was most likely emptied by previous owners of the building. Oh, finally. One that's interesting and not about sex, cheating, coming in the ranch bottle, or doing other horrible nastyps. Did you get to go in any cans of peaches and whatnot? Edit. Coming in the ranch. Not op, but there was an enormous bunker under my old middle school. I got to go down there with a friend who was on yearbook. The school was closing, moved to a new building, and she was going to take pictures. It was creepy. Lots of tunnels leading to mini bunkers, all stuffed with industrial looking cans of rations and yes, peaches. There was a whole room full of toilet paper. I took a roll as a souvenir. Also grabbed a massive container of petroleum jelly. For some reason. Guess I thought it was funny. Middle schoolers are dumb. Some kid in my year/grade found nude pictures of his art teacher female on a school camera when he went to take pictures of his painting. Didn't have a clue what to do about it, so just started telling people and no one believed him. Couple days later he's pulled out of class and had to see the school headmaster about it. They found the camera and the photos and somehow the teacher was unaware whatsoever. Thing is, the teacher didn't get any reprimands, but the kid got excluded a couple of days for spreading true rumors about the teacher. Doesn't seem fair. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Heard his parents got involved with it, and then a couple weeks later it was as if it never happened. Safe to say he pulled out of the art class and changed course. In middle school, a rumor floated around pretty much most of the school that the principal had a consistent record of sexual assault. And why no, he got arrested for sexual assault when I was a freshman in high school. It was all over the news and everything. A younger male teacher, upper 20s, knew Liwat was having sex in his classroom during lunch with an older female teacher, married in her mid-40s. A student caught them and filmed them, pretty much blackmailed them into turning themselves in. At least he was a teacher and not a student. We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial/business advice during classes. One day he tabbed over to his stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation some students found old newspaper articles confirming that he was a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. Was a seriously cool guy, actually. That would be a good Breaking Bad spin-off. Actually, that's one sharp drug dealer. Made the money, served some time, invested the money that wasn't taken by the government, and is teaching. Two sports teachers were having an affair with each other, even though one of their spouses was also a sports teacher in the same school using the same dinky office. Rumor was confirmed when the two dudes had a fist fight in the basketball court. I feel like every pet teacher I ever had was plowing another member of staff. Edit. I should mention I was homeschooled. That the school district security guard would let you get away with anything if you gave him some coke. He later got caught and fired for it. If anyone else went there, it was at Desert View HS in Tucson. Edit. I was talking about Kayakane, not the soda for those who didn't realize that. And on a serious note, it's all about the drive. P&'s the rest. Was Pepsi okay? Spanish teacher was a former male star. La puta rest en la biblioteca. Puta. Donde están mis pantalones? Editor. Esten. The wood tech teacher was married to the French teacher. They had a child. The P.E. teacher's the French teacher. The wood tech teacher went into the P.E. department and threatened to beat the out of the P.E. teacher with a cricket bat. I believe this was during a normal school day, but it was before my year started. Their second P.E. teacher got involved and stopped it, so everyone kept their jobs. Later on, the wood tech teacher married the geography teacher, and they had 2 kids, whilst a third P.E. teacher cheated on her husband with the second P.E. teacher, and every Wednesday an hour before lunch I would see P.E. teachers 2 and 3 through the window of my science classroom. They would get in a car and leave together. Sometimes I would see them come back and sometimes I wouldn't. I jokingly pointed it out to people before anyone else caught on, and later they became a couple that was known to students. TL. Doctor. 6 teachers. 3 pregnancies. 2 affairs. 1 angry husband with a cricket bat. And a partridge in a pear tree. Teacher from my high school. Girls were creeped out by him and constantly reported him for making them uncomfortable. He was quite obese, belly hung to knees, so the school and other students wrongly assumed these girls were being rude. 6 years later he's in prison after being caught with child pics on his computer, alongside upskirt photos of girls from my school. Are you from Victoria, Australia, by any chance? Because I have the exact same story as you, haha. That there was a girl in the boys' bathroom giving BJs for $10. There really was, and she got expelled. $10. Way too cheap considering the risk. She could do 10 a day every day, knowing how long teenage boys last, and probably just during lesson time, which is 100 per day. $500 per week more if she does it out of school too, which is $24K per year tax-free. Good money there. And it's clear she got ratted out. Probably by some lads she didn't suck. Or someone who wanted to get in on her market and was just getting rid of the competition first. I wonder if it's her mate ratting her out and upping her prices. The other girls were all charging $50 to $100. She was actually ultimately expelled for bad business sense. Offering a blowjob at 1/5 the price. Who the hell would go for the 51? She was making big dollars. She's going to make even bigger dollars if she keeps that business attitude up. A girl blew the whole basketball team after a game. Don't know the exact details. I just know the girl left and 3 kids got expelled. Edit. I'm not naming the high school for privacy reasons. The reason they got expelled was because it was a Catholic school and they did it in the locker room. What high school basketball team had only 3 players in it? They weren't about to kick out the entire team. They just randomly picked 3 people. Or was this a chance to get rid of the lesser players on the team? Survival of the fittest. The rumor was that a boys gym teacher and a senior girl in my class were involved. They got married when we graduated. He was at least 10 years older than she was. Still together? For over 40 years now. The origins may be shady, but a 40-year marriage is nothing to scoff at. My 6th grade math teacher was super creepy. He would assign seats randomly but always placed the girls in the front of the classroom. Did the whole lingering stare thing, and was always trying to get people to hang out with him during lunch. I never did, but he was married and has a baby, so no one really suspected him of anything other than being creepy. Fast forward about 7 years. The teacher ended up being a sex offender. He had an ongoing relationship with a girl that began when she was 13. Based on what I could see from the various news articles, she was either in my year or the year before me. The police came to arrest him in the middle of his class, cuffed him in front of his students, and then had him walk throughout campus in cuffs to get to their car. I don't feel bad for him at all, but I can't imagine how his wife and son must feel. Edit. For everyone asking, this was in the Bay Area, California. The same exact thing happened at my school, except he was not as wrong with the world. Well, the thing is, people with an unhealthy attraction to children or teens will look for jobs involving them. When do what you love is taken too seriously. Edit. Thanks guys. Now my top comment is no longer about outwitting genius. It's a joke about pedophilia. Probably not the juiciest thing, but the one I remember because of how I found out. A few of our high school libraries' walls were weird. Sort of a lowercase b shape. So there was this empty space behind the bookshelves up against the walls. Tunnels. Basically. Word was, students were in there. I worked in the library. Had to move the shelves. Clean the tunnels. Found used condoms. It was an all-boys school at the time, if that matters. Mind, the condoms weren't the worst thing. Really. The leftover food debris, and there was worse. Stuff like chicken bones. Edit. Couple years later, I was talking with an ex-schoolmate. Another guy from our graduating class comes in. I hate that guy. My friend says, he's ps. Dude, you're ps. There's ps. And there's so ps other ps people think you're too ps. Turns out that gent had been one of the entrepreneurial fellows selling services for a few dollars ago. I wasn't shocked, since I already had some idea. But I was surprised that the going rate had been so cheap. You know you've hit rock bottom when you'll give a blowy for a piece of fried chicken. Either that, or that's some awfully damned good chicken. Also, some kid said he was going to kill himself a bunch of times over getting worse grades than his little brother, and finally one day, he jumped in front of a train on the tracks right behind the school. I heard some details of what kid saw, and it was about as horrifying as you'd think. Damn, how would his brother feel? That poor train driver though. Edit. I could have worded this better than my 3 AM sleepless haze. Like the train driver is just trying to do his job and that happens out of his control. The effect that can have on a person's mental health can be devastating. I don't know how is it in the US, but in Europe it's a quite common suicide style. Once a woman at a ticket booth said that my train will be 3 hours late due to suicide. I said that it's sad. She said, well, it's third one this week. So I think that drivers all keep their count. For anyone who deals with this kind of thing like train drivers, many first responders, we don't so much keep a count as be haunted by one.